Alright, so it's been 2 mornings since I first went and got my Farmall cub. And a lot has happened. I haven't filmed a lot of it because not a lot's actually happened. I've done a lot to it, but not a lot's actually happened. We are still at the point of it turning over, having spark, but not starting. Now, when we got it in the barn that night, it did not have spark, so we replaced the points, condenser, rotor cap, button, and plug wires. Gapped the points. Very important step in that. Didn't do that the first time, actually closed them back up in there and had to take it off and do it again. So, we're getting a consistent spark. I know because this hand still hurts. But what we aren't getting is consistent compression. There are at least one or more exhaust valves stuck open, and if you would like to know how I know this, if you take a piece of paper, and I have one here, seems that it's blown away, and put it over the exhaust and turn this thing over, it goes blow, blow, suck, blow, blow, suck, which means one of the exhaust valves is sticking open. So their wind, piston draws back down, sucks it back down. Now my guess is it would be the exhaust valve that was open while the tractor was sitting this amount of time. When I got to it, it did have a cap on the exhaust, but I have no clue how long that had been there, and I do know it had been outside for many, many years. Likely it filled one or more of the cylinders with water. At least condensation did wet it. How do I fix this without pulling the head? Can I fix this without pulling the head? But all of these are good questions. So let me tell you, I don't know if I can fix this without pulling the head, but if I can, there's one tool to do it. And it's Marvel Mystery Oil. I've talked about this in my previous video with this 235 straight 6 engine. I cannot stress to you enough how much you should be using this in your older projects. I've unlocked lots of motors with it. Motors I locked up myself with heat, I've unlocked with this. I've unlocked exhaust valves on John Deere 110s with it. I've unlocked motors that have been stuck. It's also a good idea to put it in any motor that hasn't started in many years to recondition those rings as it turns over for the first times. I already put about half this bottle, or a little less, into the gas. That way as it sucked the gas up, it would condition things in its first times running. We're going to need a little more than a bottle this small, and you say, Jace, where are we going to get a bottle bigger than that bottle? Well, I went to the parts store this morning, and I meant business. How much Marvel Mystery Oil should I use, you might ask me? You cannot use enough. You should pull the spark plugs off of something and fill it until it pours over on anything that is stuck. You can't use too much. If it starts to settle down into it, pour some more and top it back off. That is how much Marvel Mystery Oil you should use. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to pull the spark plugs out of this tractor, fill all of the cylinders with Marvel Mystery Oil to the brim, and let it soak into those valve guides and seals, hopefully causing the exhaust valves to snap shut when they properly should. So, I'll probably time lapse this and get back to you next time we try to turn it over. Thank you. Now, one thing you've got to learn to do if you plan to work on old stuff is improvise. I don't even know if I'm going to put that last time lapse in there because A, it wasn't aimed right, and B, all you could see me doing was taking the bolts out of the front of the grill because the hood and the gas tank and everything on these jewels is connected. And these 4 screws that hold it on are very stuck. And because there's gasoline right there, I don't plan on grinding them out of there. So, took about 8 different wrenches to get it out. Now, one thing you should know if you're going to work on old stuff, spark plug sockets themselves have a nut on the top of them. So if you don't have room to drop things or have room to get a ratchet in there, you can take a wrench that has a bent end and put it on the top of the socket, and now you've got a spark plug wrench. So, to put the Marvel Mystery Oil in there without taking the hood off, I'm going to have to make a funnel. Now, most auto parts stores sell these flexible funnels. Problem is they only have so much flex. As you can see by the beautiful red paint now showing through, it doesn't bend enough. I just spilled Marvel Mystery all over the side of the engine, which honestly, as good as this stuff works, should make it run anyway. But you have to learn to do some things like take a little length of hose and push it through a funnel to make your own flexible hosed funnel. Like that there. You take that hose, put it down in the fire hole on top of the motor. If it will fit, come on, show me the way. Come along with me. There we go. Now you install your Marvel Mystery into your engine until it pours down the side again. That cylinder is pretty well full. And so on, going down the line. The whole point of me making this video series is to show young people how to work on old stuff, and that you can work on old stuff. Just because you don't know anything when you start doesn't mean that you won't know more at the end. You got to learn to improvise. When you're buying broke stuff, it can't get any more broken. Everything you do to it is an improvement, whether it's an improvement to the machine or an improvement to yourself through learning. So don't be afraid to go out and trade some raking leaves for an old lawnmower. Buy a $20 four-wheeler. Now, I hate working on four-wheelers. They don't turn out near as well as these old flathead motors and simple overhead valve motors like that old 235. But don't be afraid. Everybody that the Lord made has the ability to work on this stuff, whether or not they know it. It just comes down to whether or not you're willing to learn and willing to try. So I'm going to put this Marvel Mystery in there and get back to you guys.